Hello everyone, this is Ashley from Ashley's Creations, and I'm going to show you how I made this card today. This card was not mine. I cased it from a lady named Dawn Olson, who is a designer over at Papertrey Inc. However, she used Copics, and I don't have those, and she used airbrushing, which I don't have that either. And I also did a couple other things a little different than she did. So I just wanted to show you what I did to make this card my own. So the first thing we're going to do to get started is I have a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of white paper, or white cardstock. And I have two big market colors. I have the Ocean View Blue and Tranquil Teal. And we're just going to take the Ocean View Blue, and I'm just going to, I'll zoom you in a little bit so you can see a little better. I'm going to just kind of make a line somewhere, and then I'm going to color it in. And then I'm going to take the teal, and I'm going to color over that. Just kind of blend the colors together. Each one by themselves didn't look very oceany, but I thought that when they were layered together it looked a lot more like the ocean. And I'm just going to take this, the Ocean View Blue, and just go back over it a little bit more. So there's some layering in there. And then I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to make a new wave. Oops. I'm just going to continue to color it in. Okay, and I'm going to make the top of my wave, so I'm just gonna kind of play around. I keep doing that. I want to do it with the blue first. It doesn't matter where you do your lines, because you're going to make your own lines again with a white pen, so and just kind of all be blended together. We just want the different layers in there. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I have a white gel roll pen. This is the one from Stampin' Up. And I'm just going to find around where I made my first line. I'm just going to start making some marks with my pen to make it look kind of like the waves are washing up. So it just kind of looks a little frothy, like a wave might look. Okay, and then I'm going to find near the center, make another kind of wave. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just, we want some white in there to give each wave a little bit more definition. And then I'm going to add it up here at the top too. little bit more in some spots and do it kind of thin in some areas as well. Okay, so there we have, it looks kind of like waves coming into the shore. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some sand. Now, the lady who did it used Copic markers to do her sand, but I'm going to use real sand to do my sand. So I have here, it's from muddpuddles.net, and it is called Key Largo. And I got this at the Scrapbook Mega Meet at the, I think it was at the beginning of the month. And it's just, it's sand and glue mixed together. So there's a little mixture here. And you use this flat little spatula thing to just spread it on. So I'm going to dump some on. And I'm going to use this to flatten it out. So we have real sand on our beach. And when you run out, you can get some more. So when this stuff dries, it looks like sand, it feels like sand. So it'll just add a really nice element to your card that someone might not be expecting. So I thought it was really cool. I bought a bunch of these. They also have sea glass, they've got sea life, so they got seashells and stuff. And then it is muddpuddles.net. So if you think this is cool, then go to their website and check them out. I'm glad that I got some of them so I could start adding some more dimension to my cards. And I'm just going to scrape off the excess back into this jar. And since I covered up some of my lines with the sand, I'm just going to make a couple more white lines down here. So that it still looks like the ocean coming in to the sand. Okay, now we're going to set that aside because that has to dry. So it does take maybe about 20 minutes or so to dry. So I'm going to set it aside so that we don't get that on anything else in our project. And then the next part, we're going to use the stamp set called Flipping Out. It's from Papertrey Ink. It came out with their May release. And we're going to use one of the sayings down here, and then we're also going to use this polka dot flip-flop right here. So with the die, with the stamp, there is a matching die set. So it's got the flip-flops, it's got the little thong part of the sandal, and then it's got a little flower and a little heart. Now I've already cut all three of those out. I'm just going to pull them over. So here's my flip-flops. I'm going to kind of put them over here so they're easier to see. And we're going to stamp the polka dot flip-flop in Aqua Mist by Papertrey Ink. Okay, there's one flip-flop. And the second flip-flop. It's always a lot harder to stamp on videos because you're at such a bad angle, but that's okay. And then we're going to set the flip-flops aside. And we're going to use this block to do the thongs of the flip-flop. I've already cut those out too. And we're going to stamp those in Aqua Mist. I'm going to pull out the flong, my sheet. I'm sorry, we're going to do that in Ocean Tides. I don't remember if that's what I said or not, but we're going to do it in Ocean Tides by Papertrey ink. Okay, so there's one thong. And then we're going to do the other thong. Okay. Now the last part that we have to do is the little flower. So I have little flowers right here. I chose to do the flower instead of the heart. And we are going to stamp that with Versamark, and we're going to emboss it. Use my tweezers to... Okay, so there's our flower, and then I'm going to take it and emboss it. Okay, so I embossed them with the Melon Mambo embossing powder by Stampin' Up. I did that off camera just to save a little bit of time. And I'm going to add a rhinestone from Stampin' Up onto the little flower. Just to give it a little bling. What girl doesn't like wearing a little bling? Okay. Now we need to add them to the flip flap. So I'm just going to flip it over, cut a dimensional in half. I'm going to put half of it on this flower, half of it on this flower. And I'm going to also pop up the thongs. I'm just going to take a dimensional. I'm going to cut that a bunch of times. Okay, once you've got those on, we're going to go ahead and put the flowers on first. And I'm going to put it onto the flip flap. Okay, so there's one flip flap. And here's my second flip flap. Okay, and since the sand is still drying, I accidentally put my hand in it. We're going to move on to the next part. I have a piece of white cardstock here that is 4 1/4 by 1/2 inch, and we are going to stamp it, with the sentiment, "Have a flippin' great birthday." So this card might be I don't know, I might use it for my niece's birthday. She's turning 2, but we're having her birthday party at a splash pad. So it's perfect sentiment. Or my mom might appreciate it. I don't know. I'm going to stamp this with Raspberry Fizz ink. And then I'm going to go around it with Tim Holtz Tea Dye Distress ink. Well, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into a banner. Okay, now that's a banner, I'm going to go ahead and go around it with tea dye. Let's zoom you out a little bit. Just so it's not so plain white. And then I have a white card base. It is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 once I fold it. And I'm going to go ahead and ink around that too with the tea dye, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, this isn't totally dry yet, but I used my heat gun to set it in a little bit more so it would dry a little bit faster. It's still a little damp, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my card. I'm going to take my tape runner and put it where the marker is, but I'm not going to put it where the sand is, because the last time I tried to do that it ripped my paper. So I'm just going to use this Tombow multi glue, and I'm going to put it along the edges up here so that I have some adhesive up here. I'm sure you probably don't need that much, but whatever. Dimensional paper. Anybody else get that stuff everywhere? That and that sticky tape paper. I found that in my bedroom. Found dimensionals in my bedroom. Remember, my craft room is downstairs. My bedroom is on the 2nd floor. So it's coming out a little bit from the top, so I'm just going to try and wipe that away. Okay, and I already went ahead and added dimensionals to the back of my flip-flops. So I'm going to go ahead, and I only put it about half here, and the other half I use tape runner because I'm going to overlap them. I'm just going to position them on the edge of the water. I'll put that down in the water a little bit more. And then I already put dimensionals on the banner. I'm just going to go ahead and stick that. Zoom in a little more. I'm just going to go ahead and... Okay, so here's the finished card. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and here's the other one. So here's my 2 cards for somebody's birthday. Thank you. Bye.
Could you whisper in my ear the things you want to feel? I'll give you anything to feel it coming.